Hi everyone, welcome back to Stamp with Anna, and today I'm going to show you the first of 3 shaker cards we made at class this past weekend. And each one is going to have those nice little snowflakes in there. So this is the first one we made. I'm going to make this a little differently today. I have run out of the silver foil paper that Stampin' Up! Has introduced in the winter catalog, so I'm going to make it in gold. And I'm hoping it looks just as nice. So this is gold lined paper, and it comes with a matching envelope, which is just so pretty. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the envelope and the gold lined paper, and then I have another piece of Whisper White, which is cut at 3 3/4 by 5, and that is the same size as this white piece on the gold foil paper. And the reason I'm doing that is this is where I'm going to emboss. So I'm going to take this piece of paper, and the first thing I'm going to do is with my 2.5 inch circle punch, I'm going to come in and bring this all the way up to the top, and then just eyeball the 2 sides to make sure that they are even. I'm going to punch. And there is my snow globe, the basis of my snow globe. Now hold on to this piece of paper because you are going to need that. The next thing I'm going to do is my stamping. And on this one here, I'm going to use Memento Black. And on this one here, what I'm going to do is take let me tell you what stamps that I'm using, the Spirited Snowmen. I'm going to use this holly, this sentiment, and this adorable little snowman. So with my Memento Black, I'm going to stamp my holly in the corners. Okay. And I'm going to color it in. And I'm going to do all this before I run this through the embossing folder, because if I emboss it first and then color it, wherever the little snowflake falls is going to be clearly visible. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So I'm using the Cherry Cobbler Stampin' Right marker, and I'm just going to color in the berries. And then I'm going to come in with Pierre Pizzazz marker, and again I'm just going to color in my leaves. Now these markers have both a thick side, a brush tip, as well as a fine tip. I found that coloring with the brush tip worked better for me. It takes fewer strokes and fewer lines. And there, 1, 2, 3, quick, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this through my my softly falling embossing folder. And a couple things I want to make sure is that the Sizzix is on the top. And I'm going to turn it this way because I want all my snow to be falling on the top. So I'm going to line this up right here. And right around here where my holly is, I'm going to move this around so that as little holly as possible is going to get embossed. You're not going to be able to emboss it so that none of them are embossed. You just want as few as possible so you don't have that. They won't stick out as much. Okay, so I think that's good. I'm going to go run this through my embossing folder. I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. And so, you see, because I made sure that my embossing folder had the Sizzix on the top, my snowflake is embossed instead of debossed. You really want to make sure that you take the time to be sure that's correct. Trust me. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this right on top of there, and with a pencil, I'm going to very lightly mark the top and the bottom of this circle. So now I know where I need to stamp my image of my snowman. So with bringing back my black ink, I'm going to ink up my snowman, and I'm going to line him up in that circle. Straight down, straight up. Now with my eraser, my pencil, I'm going to just erase those two guidelines. And that way I know now that my snowman is going to fit nicely within my circle. See? Now I have to color him. And coloring him was a piece of cake. I have my crumb cake again, and I'm just going to make some stripes on his scarf. Every other and I'm going to color his hat, and I'm going to keep the little circles on his hat white, and I'm just going to color around the circle. It's really quick and easy. And I'm going to keep his pom-pom white. Now on this card here, I made his little boots black, and one of the women at class the other day made his boots in crumb cake. So I liked the way they looked. I'm going to change this one, and I'm going to color his boots in cherry cobbler. And again, because I'm using the brush tip side of my marker, it goes pretty quick. Now I'm going to take a crumb cake marker, and I'm just going to color his arms. I tried to use a darker one. I think I used Early Espresso or Soft Suede, and I thought it was too dark. So I thought the crumb cake was just right. And with pumpkin pie, I'm going to color his nose. And then with the basic black, I'm just going to put some dots in on his belly button there. Okay, so now we're pretty much done with most of it. Now we have to make our snow. So what I'm going to do, a piece of window sheet, which is cut 3 by 3, and with my snail, I'm going to turn this over to the back, and I'm going to just run a little bit of snail all around my circle. I'm going to attach my window sheet. Okay. Now I'm going to come in with the foam adhesive strips. These things are just great. And I'm going to pull one strip off. And I'm going to come around the whole circle as close as I can to the edge of it, but without really touching the edge, because you don't want to be able to see it from the front of the card. And it is nice and pliable. Now when I come to the end here, put this back on, it's very important that the end piece, the two end pieces are butted up against each other, because if otherwise you're going to have a little opening, and that's your snow is going to fall out. So I'm going to just tuck that in and make sure it's nice and secure. And now I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to take some scraps. I have some scraps here left over, and I'm just going to cut 4 little pieces. And I'm going to put them on the corners here. Now, I tried once, and I used Stampin' Dimensionals for the corner. But those didn't work because the Stampin' Dimensionals aren't as high as the foam strips, so it wasn't nice and even. So I'm going to peel the backs off of that as well. And I'm going to put this aside for just a second. Then I'm going to come in. What I used was Melissa Francis Mica Flakes. Stampin' Up! Had these in their catalog, holiday catalog, either last year or the year before, and they were great, but they don't have them anymore. So I used the Mica Flakes. And this is a 1 ounce package. I got this on Amazon. It was pretty inexpensive. Now you really just need a little bit. Less is more in so many aspects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take I have a little embossing spoon, and I'm just going to put maybe 2 scoops. Now I'm going to stand up for this next part, because what I want to do is I want to just come in, and you can't hesitate about this, you have to just go with it. Put this down and press. Now you can't be too fussy with it, because if you're moving it, you're going to move all of your snow all over the place, and it's going to make a mess. Okay, so there we have the basics of our snow globe. Now we have to just do a little more stamping and die cutting, and we're all set. So with that piece, the circle that we punched out of here, I'm going to use some cherry cobbler, and from the Spirited Snowmen, I'm going to stamp Winter Cheer, and I'm going to put that right in the middle. Now I'm going to go over to my Big Shot, and what I'm going to do is I have the Stitched Shapes framelits, the smallest of the ovals, and I have from the Everyday Jar sets, this is the Jar of Love stamp set, and this is the coordinating framelits, and almost every piece here has a framelit. So what I'm going to use is the framelit that cuts out that top, but I'm not going to use that top. So I have a little scrap of gold, and I'm going to go cut that out. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with my pieces. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this, it's a bottle top. I'm going to use that as the bottom of my snow globe. And with a little bit of snail, I'm just going to attach it. Now you don't want to put it on the bottom, because otherwise the snow globe doesn't look realistic. It's floating. You want to bring it up a little bit. See? Then my winter cheer, I'm going to use a dimensional. And I'm going to put 2 dimensionals. I probably could use the mini dimensionals, but I have these out, so I'm going to use these. I'm going to put this on the bottom. Now that is pretty in and of itself. However, I'm going to add some red rhinestone basic jewels, which are in the holiday catalog, I believe. They might be in the regular catalog too. I'm not quite sure. And I'm just going to put 1 on either side, and that just adds the finishing touch. Isn't that so pretty? Now we don't want to have a naked card, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp on the inside of my card with the holly again. I'm going to come in and just stamp this on the corner here. And I'm also going to do that on the front bottom of my envelope. And I'm going to color that with my markers again. And again, the leaves are pure pizzazz. And the holly berries I did with cherry cobbler. I used the cherry cobbler because it coordinated nicely with the color that I put on the snowman scarf. You could use real red, you could use anything. Okay, and there we have it. A cute little snow globe, snowman, and a matching card to go with it. And again, let me show you the one that was done in silver so you can see the two different effects. I think they're both equally as nice. Well, there you go, and I hope you've enjoyed this project. If you have any questions about the project or any of the products that I used, please contact me through my blog, www.stampwithanna.blogspot.com, and I hope you'll come back and join me later this week where I show you another snow card, another shaker card with snow. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.